the sort of Iron Age man carved little sort of, I guess, large vegetable patches into the side of the chalk hill. So these lynchets are really old, and it kind of, you know, shows how long this site has been used for agriculture, which is rather wonderful. We do have some Jacob's sheep. You can see them up there, kind of amongst the lynchets. You know, and traditionally chalk downland has always been used for sheep grazing. We have the most chalk downland in Sussex and Kent. That's where 60% of the vineyards are in this country. 80% are along the south coast of England. And the landscape has really changed because of the increase in vineyards. So 40 years ago we had about 500 acres under vine, and now we have over 10,000 acres. That's big for us. We're about 1/10 the size of Champagne still, but the increase has been really rapid over the last decade. And the main reason obviously is that 40 years ago we couldn't properly ripen a grape, we didn't have enough heat, we could only get enough sugar to convert into 8% alcohol. So fast forward to present day, we have gone up 1.5 degrees Celsius, which is in Fahrenheit, I should know.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, thank you, 2.5 Fahrenheit. So that is basically where Champagne was 40 years ago. So we can now fully ripen a grape, get enough sugar to convert into up to 13% alcohol. And this has led to an increase in plantings. There are now 900 commercial vineyards in this country, 200 wineries. We need a lot more wineries, to be honest. And you know, as you see the landscape change, you see less grazing sheep and more vines, because vines love chalk. Chalk is ideal, it's free draining, vines don't like getting wet roots. Clay obviously is impossible because clay holds too much water, and sandstone works as well. So it's a really exciting time to be part of the industry. Viticulture is currently the fastest growing agricultural industry in this country. And the good thing about vines is that there's not a lot you can plant in the soil here. It's very, very thin. Our topsoil is about 1 inch deep. It's really poor, to be honest. You wouldn't be able to grow any other food crop in it. But vines are really sturdy, and their roots go up to 5 meters deep, and they can get to the water table, they can get what they need. They tend to flourish in fairly poor quality soil anyway. And so for them it's an ideal spot. And also we're along the south coast, so we don't have a frost risk. There's a lower risk of frost because frost can do a lot of damage. The Champenois are starting to buy land up in this country. So just before COVID, Tassinger, the French champagne house, purchased a vineyard in Kent. And somebody said to me, well, isn't that bad news? You know, hold on, you know, because then they'll take it back to France. Not at all. It's wonderful news. It's a fantastic endorsement to the industry, because basically they can't call it champagne, just like we can't call our English sparkling wine champagne. They have to call it English sparkling. We now have our own PDO in this country, which DEFRA, the government, released about 15 years ago now. And a PDO, Protected Designation of Origin, means that a bit like the appellations, the DOCGs that you get in France and Italy, it gives us protection, meaning if you want to produce quality English sparkling wine, aka champagne, then you have to use the 3 champagne grape varieties, which are Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier and Chardonnay. And that is what we grow at Bride Valley. They're the 3 main varieties. Predominantly we have Chardonnay, about 55% of our vines are Chardonnay, 25% Pinot Noir and 20% Pinot Meunier. Chardonnay and Pinot Noir are the most grown varieties in this country because the demand for sparkling wine is really high. The French are struggling with temperatures, and what happens if you think about it, on a hot day, if we haven't seen the sun all year and we go out, we burn, right? This is what happens to the grapes. If the temperatures get too high, the Pinot Noir and the Chardonnay, they can't cope with extreme temperatures, and the skins literally start to shrivel up. So we are a cool climate wine region, and so is Champagne. But Champagne is now teetering into the warm climate wine region. So you really need an average daily temperature of between 16 to 18 degrees between April and October. So if you add up all those days, add up all the temperatures, divide it into those days, your average needs to be between 16 and 18. If it goes beyond that, you will then into the warm climate grape growing category. And so there's been a lot of shift since temperatures have increased globally. So we are perfectly in that cool climate now. And the champagne varieties, they don't like it too hot. You know, Chardonnay does cope in a higher temperature, and so does Pinot Noir, but you're not going to get the crisp acidity that you get from sparkling, wine that you like in champagne. You don't want all that sugar, and you don't want to lose that acidity. So it's a very exciting time that, and I think predictions are we're producing about 80 million bottles a year here on a good vintage, with predictions by 2040 to get up to 40 million. So more and more vineyards are popping up every single year. Let's walk around a bit. That's the Pinot Noir there.